Brad Pitt net worth. How this guy went from dressing as a chicken to making $400 million. Brad Pitt's journey from quirky early jobs to Hollywood stardom has built him a $400 million fortune. From college dropout to Hollywood hustler, Brad Pitt's net worth origins. The moment everything changed, Brad Pitt's career peak. Breaking down Brad Pitt's current net worth. It's not just acting. What we can learn from Brad Pitt's success story. You know Brad Pitt, that guy who's been making heart skip beats since the 90s and somehow keeps getting better with age. Well, turns out it's not just easy on the eyes, he's also pretty darn good at making money. We're talking about a Brad Pitt net worth of $400 million in 2025, which is honestly mind-blowing when you think about where he started. From college dropout to Hollywood hustler, Brad Pitt's net worth origins. Here's the thing about Brad Pitt. He wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. This Missouri kid was just 2 weeks away from graduating college when he basically said screw it and packed his bag for L.A. Talk about a leap of faith, right? But here's where it gets real. Before Brad Pitt became, well, Brad Pitt, he was just another broke 20-something trying to make it in Hollywood. And I mean broke. The guy was literally driving strippers around in limos, hauling refrigerators, and, get this, dressing up as a giant chicken for El Pollo Loco. I'm not making this up. Those early struggles definitely shaped who he became. You don't forget what it's like to hustle when you're sitting on a Brad Pitt net worth of $400 million. It keeps you grounded, you know? The moment everything changed, Brad Pitt's career peaked. So picture this. It's 1991, and his relatively unknown actor gets cast in Thelma and Louise. He's only on screen for like 20 minutes. But man, did he make those minutes count. That shirtless scene? Yeah, that basically launched his entire career. Hollywood executives probably watched that and thought, we need to put this guy in everything. And that's exactly what happened. The 90s became Brad Pitt's decade. Interview with a Vampire, Legends of the Fall, to 70 yen. The guy was on fire. But here's what's crazy. He wasn't just playing it safe with pretty boy roles. He was picking weird, challenging stuff that showed he could actually act. These days, Pitt doesn't mess around when it comes to paychecks. We're talking $20 million minimum per movie, and sometimes way more. Apple TV threw $30 million at him for F1, and then turned around and paid him $35 million for Wolves with George Clooney. Not bad for a day's work, huh? Breaking down Brad Pitt's current net worth. It's not just acting, okay? So that $400 million Brad Pitt net worth isn't just from looking good on camera, though let's be honest, that helps. The guy's actually pretty smart about money. His movies have made over $5 billion worldwide. That's billion with a B. So the acting thing has worked out pretty well. But here's where Pitt really showed his business smarts. Plan B Entertainment. He started the production company back in 2001, and it became this powerhouse behind amazing films like 12 Years a Slave and Moonlight. Then in 2022, he basically hit the jackpot by selling most of his stake for $113 million. Still kept a piece of it, though, because why wouldn't you? And don't even get me started on his endorsement deals. Chanel, Heineken, Cadillac, brands basically throw money at him to look cool while using their stuff. Plus, he's got his own skincare line now because apparently being ridiculously good-looking isn't enough anymore. What we can learn from Brad Pitt's success story. Look, I'm not saying we should all quit college and move to L.A. Please don't do that. But there's some real wisdom in how this guy built his empire. Never give up, even when you're literally dressed as poultry. Pitt could have thrown in the towel when he was working those crazy jobs, but he stuck with it. Sometimes you've got to do whatever it takes to chase your dreams. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Sure, acting made him famous, but producing made him rich. The Brad Pitt net worth we see today comes from him being smart about diversifying his income streams. Quality beats quantity every single time. Pitt's not one of those actors who does 5 movies a year. He picks his projects carefully, and that selectiveness has kept him relevant for 3 decades. Sometimes taking less money pays off more. When he took half his usual salary for Tarantino films, he ended up winning an Oscar. That's the kind of long-term thinking that builds real wealth. Relationships matter. The guys work with the same directors multiple times because it's apparently great to work with. in Hollywood and everywhere else. Being someone people want to collaborate with is priceless. From Missouri college kid to $400 million mogul, Brad Pitt's story proves that with enough grit, smart choices, and maybe a little luck, you can build something incredible. His Brad Pitt net worth keeps growing because he never stopped evolving, never stopped